The soft hum of a cozy diner bathed in the golden light of a lazy afternoon. Laughter dances in the air, mixing with the clinking of forks and the comforting aroma of fresh coffee. It's a perfect picture of warmth and simple joy. Some perfect pictures are meant to be broken. One cruel, careless moment shatters the peace. A glass tips, and a cascade of icy water crashes down, drenching a woman sitting alone. 7 months pregnant, Grace Holloway gasps as the cold seeps into her blouse. Her plate of pancakes, once a small treat, now sits on a trembling table. And then, the sound that cuts deeper than the cold water, laughter. A group of waiters, their name tags gleaming, mock her misfortune. One name stands out under the light, Brad. The entire diner seems to freeze. All eyes are on Grace. She clutches her belly, a protective instinct kicking in. Her lips tremble and her eyes well up with tears of shock and humiliation. But she says nothing. She doesn't fight back. She just sits there, wrapped in a suffocating blanket of silence and shame. Just as the moment feels like it will stretch into an eternity of embarrassment. The bell above the door jingles, announcing new arrivals. The atmosphere shifts instantly. 5 men, clad in leather vests and heavy boots, step inside. The emblem on their backs is unmistakable. Hell's Angels. Leading the group is a man whose presence commands the room. Cole Holloway. Grace's husband, his eyes sharp and intense, immediately find his wife. He takes in the scene in a single sweeping glance. Grace's tear-streaked face, her drenched clothes, her shaking hands. Then his gaze shifts, locking onto the smirking group of waiters. The air grows thick, heavy with unspoken threat. No one dares to breathe. Cole moves forward, his steps slow and deliberate, each thud of his boots echoing louder than a shout in the silent diner. He doesn't say a word, letting the tension build, letting his presence speak for him. He stops right beside Grace's booth and gently takes her hand, his rough fingers a stark contrast to her trembling ones. "Are you all right, sweetheart?" he asks, his voice a low rumble meant only for her. She manages a small nod, a weak attempt at a smile that doesn't quite reach her eyes. Cole's gaze lifts, finding Brad again. His jaw clenches, a muscle ticking in his cheek. "That's my wife," he states. Yeah. The words are simple, but they hang in the air like a death sentence. Brad's face drains of all color, his smug grin vanishing as the gravity of the situation crashes down on him. Cole's friends spread out behind him, a silent, intimidating wall of leather and steel. The diner feels like a powder keg, and Cole is the lit match. But just before the explosion, a small, trembling hand grips his arm. "Cole, not like this," Grace whispers, her voice firm despite her tears. "Please, let's just go." She slowly gets to her feet. Water drips from the sleeves of her blouse, but her back is straight, her posture radiating a strength that vengeance could never match. She has been humiliated, but she will not be broken. Without another word, Cole shrugs off his heavy leather vest and wraps it gently around her shoulders, a protective shield against the cold and the judging eyes. They turn and walk towards the door, their departure as silent and powerful as their arrival. As they leave, one of Cole's friends pauses by the now terrified Brad. His voice is calm, but razor-sharp. "There are 2 kinds of men in this world," he says, his words slicing through the silence. "Those who laugh at another's pain, and those who learn from it. You'd be wise to remember which side you're on." Weeks turn into a month, the same diner, the same booth. But inside, something is different. The bell jingles and Grace Holloway walks in again, her hand resting on her round belly. She carries herself with a quiet confidence. Brad is there, working his shift. He sees her, and his expression is no longer one of arrogance, but of quiet humility. He looks changed. He approaches her table slowly, almost hesitantly, and places a steaming cup of coffee in front of her, on the house. "I'm so sorry, ma'am," he says, his voice barely above a whisper, his eyes filled with genuine remorse. For everything." A soft, forgiving smile touches Grace's lips. "We all make mistakes," she replies gently. "It's what we do after we make them that truly defines who we are." Outside, a roll of thunder echoes in the distance, but inside the small diner, the storm has passed. A sense of peace settles over the room, a quiet healing taking place. Months later, Grace returns to the diner one more time. But this time, she's not alone. Cradled in her arms is her newborn baby, a tiny symbol of new beginnings. As she enters, she notices something waiting for her by the door, draped over a chair: a leather jacket. A quiet, powerful reminder that true strength isn't about how loudly you can roar, but about the gentle power of forgiveness, and that the fiercest protection can live in the very same heart as the greatest compassion. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please give this video a like and consider subscribing to the channel for more stories that remind us of the good in the world. We'll see you in the next one.